everybody, we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to talk about metalworking. Off camera here, behind the scenes, I do a lot of metal work, and I wanted to talk about how easy it is to do. It really isn't that difficult, and it's really not all that cost prohibitive to get into. And I know a lot of woodworkers who would be interested in using metal frames or legs for their woodworking projects. So I want to talk a little bit about that today, and we'll do some more stuff in the future. But today we're just going to talk about some tools for cutting metal with that you can get relatively inexpensively. Of course, there's always the hacksaw. Well, this is just the blade because I don't own a hacksaw anymore. This is a method that a lot of people have already in their tool arsenal. They have a hacksaw laying around and they use. While it is possible to cut metal with a hacksaw, it's not very much fun, it's slow, and a lot of times it ends up being not very accurate by the time you get all the way through the cut. So, let's talk about the next option. And I like this option a lot. This is an angle grinder. This one happens to be a Ryobi from Home Depot. They cost $29 brand new. And this is a metal cutting blade. This blade is $2.40 brand new. So for under $35, you can get into cutting metal really effectively. I don't have the guard on this one because I misplaced it. I typically use this for sanding. I would not recommend cutting metal without the guard on it because these things do break if you turn it the wrong way, and it hurts, trust me. So I'm going to do some quick demonstrations, and we're going to start by doing this one here. I'm going to use that one to do a little cut off on this piece of, this is 16th. I'm melting my shirt. So this is a really great way to make pretty accurate cuts. If you lay out your marks and scribe the lines, you can get really accurate cuts very quickly with just a $30 investment, which is what, $10 more than a hacksaw? Now, once you get into it, you know, you're going to want to upgrade your angle grinder. I like this because it's inexpensive and I don't use it that often, and this one's lasted me for a good long time. The next option I'm going to show you today is a jigsaw. Now this is something a lot of woodworkers already have in their arsenal. Unfortunately, I just dropped this on the cement a day or two ago and I broke the bed, so I'm not going to run this through. But with a metal cutting blade in this jigsaw, you can do a lot of very accurate, very quick cutting with just your jigsaw, which you probably already own, or a lot of guys already own. The next option is a metal cutting bandsaw. This right here is a DeWalt. And it takes these metal cutting blades. I usually buy 3 in a pack. They're $19 for 3-pack. And if you're going to just get into it, or you want to find something like this, I don't recommend running right out and buying a brand new one. I mean, if you can afford it, fine. But this one right here, I looked around for a couple weeks and I found this one at a pawn shop. They wanted $110 for it. I talked them down to $86. So for $110, I have a metal cutting bandsaw and 3 blades for it. Now granted, I've had this for quite a while and been through some blades, but this is another viable option, you know, and if you look around, you can find some pretty good used prices. Probably should have oiled it. So again, another quick way of cutting metal, and not overly expensive to get into if you find a used one. And the new ones, they're a little pricey, but they're not terrible either. So, and probably my favorite and most used option for cutting steel is this. This is a Milwaukee skill saw that's designed for cutting metal. It uses a metal blade that's great for soft metals like this, non-ferrous metals, brass, aluminum, that sort of thing, whips right through it like butter. And this was not a very expensive thing to get into either. Again, I did not go out and buy this new. I found this at a pawn shop, same one as a matter of fact, for $110. And the blades for these right here, I use the 7 1/4 inch blades from Home Depot. They cost about $29, but one of those blades will last you quite a while. And wait till you see how fast this goes through metal. What's really nice about this method right here is the metal is completely cool to the touch. It can be set up to be used with jigs. You know, if you want to get perfect 45-degree angles on your steel, you can just build a jig or with a guide on it, and you've got those great angles that are wonderful for welding up or for fastening together. I just wanted to take a minute and show you guys today some options for cutting metal for those of you who are interested in doing some metal work. These are all wonderful options, you know, and they're not that expensive to get into. If you have to buy new, but I prefer, especially if you're just getting into it or trying it out, find a used tool or just pick you up an angle grinder with a metal cutting blade and give it a shot. We're going to be doing some metal projects in the future, not a lot of it because this really is a woodworking channel. If you'd be interested in learning more about metalworking, the YouTube guy I go to all the time is Chucky2009, and I'll put a link below. He goes over all kinds of things from welding to cutting steel, drilling steel. He does tool reviews on what tools work best and what tools don't, and he's kind of my go-to guy if I need some welding tips. And I'll put a link below if you're interested in checking more out about that. And we'll be talking to you real soon with a really cool upcoming project. We're going to do an all-metal pallet pal that's completely adjustable and makes it really handy to use. So that coming pretty quick here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon.